We have the latest on our breaking news story. Donald Trump is being asked to give himself up to face criminal charges again. He is now under a new indictment, charged with election interference in Georgia.
The grand jury issued arrest warrants for those who are charged. I am giving the defendants the opportunity to voluntarily surrender no later than noon on Friday, the 25th day of August, 2023.
Trump's arrest and arraignment in Georgia will be different from what we've seen so far. He will likely have a mugshot taken this time. Georgia allows TV cameras into the courthouse and the courtroom. Now, last night gave us a glimpse into how closely his arrest and arraignment could be covered. Live cameras followed the indictment as it moved through the courthouse, taken to the courtroom packed with reporters, and handed up to a judge for review before it was made public. Central to the indictment and the election interference allegations against Trump is leaked audio of a phone call from January 2021. He can be heard urging Georgia's Attorney General to find him the thousands of votes he needs to overturn his defeat in the key swing state.
All I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes.
Trump has now been indicted 4 times since April, but the language in this indictment underscores Trump's singular place in U.S. political history. Trump is facing racketeering charges, which allow prosecutors to indict multiple people in a criminal conspiracy. The indictment describes Trump as a part of a criminal organization engaged in a criminal enterprise. It's the wording that is often seen in indictments against organized crime figures like mafia bosses or drug lords. Ira Spitzer is with us on this story from New York. Ira, this indictment has been anticipated for weeks, but seemingly happened all of a sudden with the charges made public late last night and District Attorney Fani Willis speaking around midnight. So can you take us through these allegations?
So the Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis has charged Donald Trump, the former president, with 13 felony charges related to his alleged attempts to overturn the results of the 2020 election. Now, Trump has also been charged here with 18 co-conspirators, allies of the president, and those co-conspirators include his former personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, as well as his former chief of staff, Mark Meadows. And the most serious of those allegations are the racketeering charges, which could carry a prison sentence of up to 20 years. And that is essentially leading this alleged conspiracy to pressure Georgia public officials. Of course, you mentioned that a phone call on January 2nd with Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, where Trump appears to ask him to find close to 12,000 votes. Other issues are this plot that was hatched to name these fake electors in the state of Georgia who would then be able to overturn the will of the people, overturn that election count. So there are a number of ways in which it is alleged that Trump and his co-conspirators sought to undermine the state of Georgia's process and overturn the results of that election. Here's what Fani Willis, the Fulton County District Attorney, had to say about those charges.
The indictment alleges that rather than abide by Georgia's legal process for election challenges, the defendants engaged in a criminal racketeering enterprise to overturn Georgia's presidential election result.
Now, the court has given Trump and the other defendants until August 25th, that's next Friday, to turn themselves in to face these charges in Fulton County.
Now, Ira, this is Donald Trump's 4th indictment since April. Just 2 weeks ago, he was arraigned on federal charges of trying to overturn the 2020 election. How is this indictment in Georgia different?
Well, this indictment does cover some of the same ground as those federal charges, although it does go into some more detail and also charges some different defendants in those cases. But one of the key differences is that because these are state charges in the state of Georgia, if Donald Trump were to win the presidency, he currently is the leading Republican candidate for president. On those federal charges, he would seemingly have the ability to pardon himself, but with the state charges, it would perhaps not be so easy to overturn a conviction. So that is one major difference between some of the charges that Trump faces. But of course, we're in a very gray and unprecedented legal territory right now with the former president embroiled in 4 criminal cases, especially ahead of next year's presidential election.
All right, thanks, Ira. That's Ira Spitzer in New York.